Hi, welcome to the Flynn's Carlow TV review of the Nissan Qashqai. When the Qashqai was introduced by Nissan in 2007, it created a completely new segment in the market. The car people would have described it as a CD crossover. And whatever you want to call it, it really did take the market by storm. And it has continued to be very, very popular in the interim. And you can see why when you drive it. You have a lovely high driving position. You have terrific visibility. You also know that you have the feel and look of a 4x4 without the initial costs of purchase or indeed the cost of maintenance that you might associate with a 4x4. In 2010, Nissan brought in a facelift to the car. And those changes that they brought in really did aim, I suppose, above all things, to take all the positives of the Qashqai and improve on them, and to just improve the styling of it so that it looked that little bit more modern. So those changes included freshened and improved headlights, a new grille, and much nicer looking new alloys. In addition, you have the features that have been there all along, such as ABS and ESP. You have multiple airbags, and you have a whole series of different options. The one that I'm driving today is the Qashqai SV 1.5 common rail diesel engine, and it's a really nice car to drive. It's 6-speed manual, and that means that I can very easily and very comfortably find a gear that I feel secure at, and also a gear that I can be happy it's going to help me in terms of maximizing my fuel economy. On that particular point, there's one nice feature that I do like in it that I've seen introduced with this model, and that's that there's an indicator on the dash here which tells you when it suggests that you should change gears, and in so doing help you to actually maintain the best fuel economy that you can. Inside in the car itself, firstly, if we start at the back, I often carry my kids in one of these, and they like the driving position that it gives them. They like the view that they have out of it. Similarly, where you need booster seats, you can nicely and comfortably and securely get the seatbelt around those booster seats, and yet the kids still feel comfortable. The high driving position is something that I really like as well. Inside in the cabin, you feel very secure, you feel safe, and you feel as if you're in control of the car. The dials themselves on the dash are very simple and they're very straightforward. In addition to that, you have a number of functions that are in between the two main dials, and they're done in a very straightforward and nicely laid out fashion. You can control an awful lot of the features from the multifunction steering wheel. On this particular one, I have cruise control, I have a speed limiter. I also have my Bluetooth hands-free right on the steering wheel. And of course that means that I'm not tempted to be using my phone at a time when I shouldn't, and thereby trying to ensure that I minimise the possibility of getting any penalty points. It allows me to concentrate on driving the car. I also have volume control and control over my radio. In addition to an MP3 auxiliary jack, I also have a USB jack on this car. And I like that. That's a function on the Qashqai that has really made things much more comfortable for me. I like listening to my music when I want to. As soon as I plug in my iPod, it immediately senses that an iPod has been attached. And the Qashqai then allows me to actually change through my tracks and to do a little more than the auxiliary jack does, which is essentially to just control volume. So the USB jack that controls and connects to my iPod is something I really like. On the SV that I'm driving, I have dual zone climate control, and that's a feature as well that I find I get value from. I get value from it because, you know, a lot of the time I prefer the temperature of the car to be a little cooler than my passenger, and that means that both of us can be comfortable, and that surely is a feature that everybody gets benefit from. Cruise control, of course, is something that we all get to use nowadays because we have such a good network of roads. And it's nice, you can just pull out in the motorway, Put it into 5th or 6th gear, depending on what your preference is. Set your cruise control, and you're just nice and safe. And it also helps you to ensure that you minimise the possibility of tiredness. The ergonomics inside in the car itself are really nice, and the changes they've made are very clever and just straightforward. When you want to see anything in the dash, it's here and it's nice close to hand. It's not complicated. And you get to control the vehicle in any way that you want to, and you get to do it quite easily. So overall, the message I would say that Nissan have given to us all with this improved set of changes is that the Qashqai still dominates that segment that it created. It does it in a very affordable way. You have 3 years or 100,000 kilometres manufacturer's warranty, as you do with all Nissans. And what's relatively unique for the Qashqai is that it has band B for road tax on both petrol and diesel. So it's €156 a year currently. One thing as well that we should all consider, and I remember somebody saying to me once that the day you buy is the day you sell, is that the resale value on the Qashqais that were sold in 2007 and 2008 have proven to be very strong. So that's something that you should consider the day you're buying it. Overall, the Qashqai that was really good has been made better. They improved the soundproofing, and yet it wasn't a car that I would have considered noisy. And I think that tells you a lot about how Nissan approached those changes. So, thanks for calling in, and we'll see you again.